Okay, beautiful day, Fredericton. I want to educate myself on something. How you doing?
Great.
Oh, you could keep your sunglasses. It don't matter. It don't matter. We're always.
I'll take it off.
It's all right. Okay. Yeah, I thought since we're talking about this issue. Okay, educate me. You are, sorry, for some people that don't know, you are the Lieutenant Governor, Graydon. Nicholas.
Yes.
And last week, we had a native that was ordained as a saint.
Yes.
What's the story behind that?
Well, first of all, my wife and I just returned this morning from Rome.
Oh, did you?
We were at the canonization on Sunday. It was a beautiful and wonderful event. There were 85,000 jam-packed in St. Peter's Square. And of course, there were seven saints altogether, 6 along with Blessed Kateri, on that beautiful, beautiful ceremony. And Blessed Kateri, or Saint Kateri as we call her now, she was born of a woman who was Algonquin, and also her dad was Mohawk. She was born in Upper New York State, a place near Fonda, New York, not far from Albany, New York. And so at a very young age, 3 years old, she lost her mother and father and her siblings, and she caught smallpox. And so her uncle raised her. And then eventually she made her way up to Ganawaki, which is on the south shore of Montreal, the Mohawk First Nation, which was at the time being ministered by Jesuit priests. So when she was 20 years old, she converted to Catholicism, and at 24 years of age, she died. And so she was by her own community ridiculed because ordinarily young women such as her should have been married when they were 16 years old and start a family. And they said her life, however, is that of prayer. And so when she died in 1680, at that moment of her death, her complexion of her face completely healed. And so there have been a lot of miracles attributed to her, and Blessed Kateri is now a universal saint, but I think she will be looked upon as a saint of those who were bullied, those who were dispossessed, those who were ridiculed, and those people who were made fun of, because she tolerated all that, all for the love of Jesus. And so now our world's been rewarded with a new saint, and it was very exciting for my wife and I to be there. Very, very exciting. A very humbling experience.
That was 400 years ago.
Oh yes, 400 years ago, yeah.
How did that
What took so long?
No, how come her name was kept in?
Well, the Jesuits,
generation.
Jesuits missionaries who were in the St. Francis Xavier Mission in Montreal had actually documented her spiritual life. This young person was very, very spiritual, and then it got passed on from generation to generation to generation. And then she was what we would say declared venerable, which is the first stage on that path. In the 1940s, excuse me, in the 1980s, she was declared blessed, and finally became a saint.
So it's true. When I learned this 2 years ago. The natives' culture, they never believe in tombstone.
I'm sorry?
They never believe in tombstone.
Well, back then they didn't have tombstones.
But they believe in spreading the word of mouth through generation to generation to generation. Not everything had to be said by mouth and not on a tombstone.
Well, I think the thing is, it's, for those that mark the particular graves, it's, I guess for cemeteries now, they have to know where the graves are, so whether people have just a wooden cross or a particular concrete monument or whatever they would have, that's important for their loved ones. But the tomb of Blessed Kateri, which my wife and I did see in Ganawaki in August, is beautiful. It's like every other who would be buried in a. It's a marble monument now. Her body is encased in it. But the significance of this particularly for Native Americans, if I can use that phrase, Charles, she's the second Aboriginal saint of North America.
Second? Who's the first?
First one was Saint Juan Diego in Mexico, who was made a saint by Pope John Paul II in 2002. Now, Juan Diego was the person who met the Blessed Virgin Mary in 1531. And that's the only place where the Blessed Virgin left behind her face, and it's called the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe. And and then now we got Saint Kateri.
What does her name mean?
Well, Tekakwitha, I mean, Kateri would be like Catherine. Tekakwitha. There's a little bit of difference as to what that actually means, and it's some say it's the lily, a flower. Some other people say, well, she's the one who had a spotted face. So you have all these different connotations of what her name would be. She's a saint now, so she's a saint like every other saint. So
hate to bring this up, but it was brought up before, brought up again, and it has to be brought up again in the future. And you were involved in it when they came here for the investigation.
We're thinking about the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
Yeah, and thank you. Would this be a way? Is this the reason it took so long? Now the Catholic Church wants to bring this up?
I don't think so, Charles. You know, a lot of people are saying that. I mean, and they're entitled to their opinion. But when you look at the how a person becomes a saint, I mean, there has to be a tribute to that individual, a miracle. And we met the young boy from Seattle, Washington, who received the miracle through the sacred relic of Blessed Kateri. And it was remarkable. This young boy, I'm hoping to get a DVD on this. It's a Salt and Light church organization that developed the DVD. And it talks about how this young boy, 6 years old, was playing basketball like a lot of other kids. And after he took a shot, his friends ran into him and it got scratched up. And as a result, the bacteria set in and he contracted flesh-eating disease. And so he was pretty well given up for dead. And it just so happened one of the nuns from the Akwesasne community, she's Mohawk, she had a sacred relic of of Blessed Kateri at the time, and she took that into the place where the boy's mother was, and placed the sacred relic on the body, and the disease stopped.
So it's a good story.
It's a beautiful story, and that was 2006. So from 2006 to 2011, you know, these things have to go to the church to make this thing authentic, and so that's the miracle that helped it for her to become a saint.
Do you think it could be if I pray for her to pray for me, ask her to pray for me? You think she could get rid of my stubbornness and my ADHD?
Well, I think the main thing is for you to pray. I mean, it's not so much me praying for. And I'm going to show you this little relic. This little, not a relic, but this is a medal we got from Rome. I'm going to give it to you. It's Blessed Kateri, and in the back it talks about the date of her canonization, which is October 21st, which is also Mission Sunday. So I'm going to give this to you, my friend. Now you can pray to Blessed Kateri yourself and say, look at Blessed Kateri, help me. And she has helped others, so that's for you.
Thank you very much. I will put a chain around it. I'll wear it.
Yes, but anyway, like I said, you know, there were so many people there. It was just awesome. It's beyond spiritual experience. It's incredible. I mean, this is a memory my wife and I will hold dear to our heart. I mean, we knew Blessed Kateri and of her story. I grew up in my community, and my grandmother had a picture of Blessed Kateri on the wall. Because, of course, as I said, in 1942 is when she was declared venerable. And I'll show you the picture that was on the wall. This was the picture of Blessed Kateri.
That's what it is.
You see, and I'll give this to you too. But this was painted in 1927, and we think the one who posed for this is a cousin to my family, a Penobscot Indian.
Really?
So and in the back is her little prayer, but now she's changed. So you can change the wording from blessed to saint. Okay, I'll
read it if you don't mind.
Sure. This was a prayer for her canonization, but now she's a saint, so I'll just change the words. O God, who among the many marvels of your grace in the New World did cause to blossom on the banks of the Mohawk River is in Upper New York State, and of the St. Lawrence, of course we're talking about St. Lawrence River, the pure and tender lily, Kateri Tekakwitha, grant we beseech you the favor we beg through her intercession, that this young lover of Jesus of his cross has been counted among the saints of Holy Mother Church, and that our hearts may be kindled with stronger desire to imitate her innocence, and through the same Christ our Lord. Amen. So that's for you, my friend.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Anyway, so like I said, you know, it's a beautiful story. It's an affirmation of the love of God for humanity.
And the Acadians, we had Frère André. He's from Quebec, but and then...
Well, there's a lot of saints. You got St. Margaret Bourgeois, who helped set up the churches in Montreal. There's a lot of saints who were here in Canada, came over from Europe. But now we have one who is Indigenous. And as I said, she's going to be a universal saint. She's like every other saint. And we walk by like St. Paul's Church or St. Dunstan's Church or St. Anthony's or name a church, St. Bartholomew, whatever it is. She is in that family of saints.
That's so well said. We'll leave it at that. Thank you, and I mean this. Thank you very much.
And it's a beautiful day today.
It is. It was. They made it. I was just standing in the corner, and you just said, "Hey, Charles," and look what happened. Thank you very much.
Take care.